is up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dan Weiss. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, press that button and just get it done. So what we're doing today is we're prepping the bike because we're going to get something a little bit different. We're going to get some new rear sets, some new Crossroads rear sets. And I'm going to pick them up for a pretty good price. More to come, but let's prep the bike for tomorrow. So one thing I need to do to prep for tomorrow is I need to remove the sprocket cover, which is three bolts. What's it? It's TT25 bits. I need to give these to the guy when I buy mine because we're sort of worked out a deal. I'll explain later. Here's off. Look at that. Halfway there. Next thing we need to do is remove these three bolts from the primary cover. I got them right here. And eventually remove these rear sets tomorrow, but I don't need to do this right now, so let's skip there. Alright guys, we're on our way. I just left work. We got about 3 hours ahead of us. We're gonna get there at 6, so we got a long drive. We'll just get you there. Is this? Why is it raining? Alright guys, so we got the Crossroads rear sets and the CARB splitter. I am beyond excited. Wayne, if you happen to see this, thank you. Appreciate a good deal. And I know I had a bit of a far drive, but it was worth it. So let's get back home, throw these on, and see the difference. I am beyond excited for this. This is straight up chaos. I don't know if you can hear it, but I hope my car's not getting damaged. This is nuts. I can hardly see anything. It's easier to see in the camera than it is to see on the windshield. It sounds terrible. I'm afraid I'm gonna lose control. I stopped at McDonald's. I don't know. I checked the hood and everything. I didn't notice any dents. I couldn't feel any, but tomorrow we will tell. Grab some food. It's gonna be a long drive. Next morning, after that terrible drive, we're gonna remove these old rear sets, clean up the other ones because they're a little bit crusty, put them on, and see the difference. So I'm about to take off these rear sets. I hope this is the last time I ever have to do these because they're a real pain to access and weren't really meant to ever be touched. So clean up this crusty rear set. See if it's sitting. Just needs a little brush up. Here's our CARB splitter it's telling you about. But with the power of YouTube, let's clean that up. 1, 2, 3. And it's done. Not perfect, but much better than where we were with this. On to the next one. In order to install Crossroads rear set, you need to remove 3 bolts on the primary cover. This one, that one, and the one below it. The reason being, it basically bolts on just like that. You'll also need to remove your shifter. I haven't done that yet. So to make your life easier, you have 3 spacers that go on the back. The bigger one is the one that goes in the middle. Take your shifter. A little bit of play. I'm going to take the same bolt from the other shifter, see if it works there. Looks like it does. Now before I tighten this down, I'm just going to check to make sure that the location of the shifter lever is where I want it. Otherwise I'm going to adjust it back. Now my foot peg's broken, so I'm going to just remove that. So I found out, in order to make this work and fit on this bracket, you have to bend the hard line, which should be easy enough, but we're going to do it with a little style. I'm going to use this PVC pipe to bend the hard line over it so I don't break it. Don't know how well this is going to work either. I got the brake cylinder painted black, and while that dries, we're going to just take off this air filter and quickly install the CARB splitter. Now, with the air filter off, and before I put the CARB splitter on, I'm going to throw this extra air filter gasket I have on it. So I just want this to seal real nice. Just like that. Alright. Now, gasket is on the back of the CARB splitter. And this is how easy it is to install. Just throw it in just like that. So, sort of just presses in there. And now I just throw the air filter back on and tighten it up. That looks beautiful. Alright, now with it back on, this is dry. I'll just throw this back together real quick. I just snugged them up. Then I'm going to add the two nuts on the back side. This keeps these two bolts from backing out. So it turns out this part of the frame is actually threaded. The hard part is getting them on. Oh. And take a 7/16 wrench and just snug the nuts up just a hair. Alright. Now I'm just going to throw my pin back on. There we go. And we still have to relocate this. Not a problem. Finally got the shifter on. Let's just test it out real quick. guys, it's been about a week riding the bike, and with the new rear sets, I wanted to give you a quick update on how I felt they are and the differences between that and the stock ones. So, the first difference is your foot position. It's much farther back than the stock ones. I believe the stock ones are more like right here. Here you have a more sportier feel. Now, with that, you can't rest your foot on top of here, on top of the brake. I tend to keep mine down off to the side like this, and I've learned just to rotate it. On the shifter side, you'll notice that my foot points a lot farther down than the brake pedal on the other side. And, it's a little uncomfortable at first. You end up sitting a lot farther forward, leaning forward. But this is probably a lot more comfortable. But once you ride it a couple times, you get used to it pretty quickly. It's not so bad. I did notice sometimes it doesn't want to shift nicely, but it could just be my shoes. Riding with boots is definitely a little bit more comfortable in terms of pushing your toe up against the shifter. Now I think the biggest change is just overall seating position. With your feet so far backwards, you really start to hug the tank a little bit more. It's not that uncomfortable, but with this, you gotta get used to not bumping into that so much. Keep your legs tight around the tank. I would like if the seat sort of supported me and pushed me back farther instead of I feel like I'm sliding into the front of the tank. Then again, it's just not something I was really used to, and it's gotten better. I noticed the overall position holding the handlebars, it's more aggressive, more towards a sport bike, but it's not too bad. And this just broke off, but I think overall I like it a lot more. You can definitely lean a lot farther than with the stock rear sets. Before I ran into problems, I'd lean just a little bit and my feet would start dragging across the pavement. It was not fun. I didn't like that. Now with the way these rear sets are, it gives me a lot more ability to lean further into my turns. Not necessarily drag knee, but it's definitely improved the handling quite a bit. Now one thing you do need to note with these is if you fall, it's going to damage your bike. The original rear sets protected the engine pretty well. These, on the other hand, probably aren't going to do anything. I ran into the issue where the foot pegs will fold up on me without realizing it, but this is mostly when I first get on the bike. See, these are pretty loose, but I'm sure if I tighten them, that would change. But overall, not too bad. I really enjoyed them so far. This doesn't really make any real noticeable rattling noises, although I could probably use some WD-40 on it. Now, the CARB splitter seems to have been helping with the intake. I can't verify that, it's just my speculation, but I do think it has helped the airflow into the carburetor. I haven't noticed any real changes that adversely affect performance, so I'm pretty happy with the results. Other than that, the bike's still a piece of junk, and it's fun to ride. But I will say this, I do think that these rear sets have made it a lot better of a bike, and I would suggest, if you can, find yourself a pair or a different one that's not stock and ditch the original ones. I'm probably going to just try and sell mine. I don't really want them. I think the bike really benefits from these, and I'm glad to have found them for such a good price. But other than that, let me know what you think. If you have any questions, comment down below. I'll be happy to answer them. Or if you have any ideas that would be sick for this bike, please let me know. I'm down to try anything with this thing. But other than that, comment below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next mod.